it's Demi from Reading with Demi and welcome back to another video. This video is for the build up to Camp Crystal Lake, which is happening in October, all throughout the month of October. As you may or may not know, I am a team captain and I am in Camp Jigsaw, based off of the Saw films. And this video is going to look at some recommendations that you could pick up for the prompts that are part of Team Jigsaw. So prompt number 1 is a book that has 2 people on the cover. Turns out most of my romance books actually fit this prompt, but I have picked up a selection for you. So we have The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, although I'm pretty sure any book by Ali Hazelwood probably has 2 people on the cover, so any books by her would work. The same goes for Tessa Bailey, so every book I own by Tessa Bailey has 2 people on the cover. This is the Bellinger Sisters series or duology. I really love this. I've read both of these, would recommend. I picked this one up because it actually fits a number of prompts. So it has 2 people on the cover and the cover is mostly red, and that is American Royalty by Tracy Livesay. I'm so sorry if I've butchered your name, but again, this is another contemporary romance. I also seem to have a lot of fantasy books that have 2 people on the cover. The first one that came to mind is the Bloodline series. So this is a spin-off of Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead, and this follows alchemist Sydney Sage on her journey to learn the truth about the organisation that she works for. And it has my favourite side character from It has my favourite side character from Vampire Academy in it, which is Adrian. I love Adrian. So when this series was announced and I just finished, or no, I don't even think I'd finished reading Vampire Academy because I think they started coming out at the same time, I ate these up because Adrian deserved better than what he got in the main series. Next up, you could pick up the Twin Crowns series by Catherine Doyle and Catherine Webber. These both have 2 people on the cover. This is the first one, this is the second one. But yeah, 2 people on the cover on those. The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I think this was my favourite book that I read last year, and my copy obviously has 2 people on the cover. This is such a whimsical fantasy. It's just gorgeous, so I would definitely recommend this book as well. And then how could I do a recommendations video without mentioning Zodiac Academy by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti. This is the first book in the Zodiac Academy series, The Awakening, and as you can see, 2 people on the cover. So the next prompt is a book that has some sort of thrillery aspect to it. Now this could be a straight out thriller book, mystery book, something like that, or maybe it's something else that you feel is a bit thrillery. So I've got a stack in front of me as well to go through. The first one is more of a cosy thriller mystery, and that is Richard Osman's The Thursday Murder Club. I've not read this yet, but I am aware that it's, I think, a group of people in a retirement home start trying to solve cold cases, and then it turns out that they actually end up in a very hot case when someone at their retirement home is killed. So definitely got a thriller aspect to it. Next up, I don't think you can recommend a thrillery book without talking about Verity by Colleen Hoover. I'm very aware that Colleen Hoover is hit and miss, but Verity is definitely giving us thriller vibes. I really enjoyed this when I read it, so I would definitely say this is a good one to pick up if you're not quite sure and you want an easy read. That also has romance in it, kind of. If you know, you know. The next one I found on my bookshelf was The Family Game by Catherine Steadman. I don't know much about this book. I know it's thrillery. I'm really trying to read more thrillers. In all fairness, I'm currently reading a thriller and it's downstairs, so I can't show you it, but I'll put it up on the screen, and that is Murder in the Family by Cara Hunter, which follows a TV show as they look to solve a 20-year-old murder case that hasn't been solved, and it's set out in the form of a script and mixed media. I'm only 70 pages in at the moment, but I'm really enjoying it. How could we talk about thrillery books without mentioning Stephen King? This is the one I picked up, but a lot of his books would probably fit this prompt. I read The Langoliers, I think last year. Also, this is considered a novella, and I get that it's small for him, but it's a normal sized book. This follows a group of people on a plane that wake up and realise that no one else is actually on the plane, and they have to figure out what's going on before they disappear as well. I can also recommend In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. I read this last year. My sister actually picked this book out as a blind pick and I gave it 5 stars. It was really good. This follows a group of college students, dual timelines. One is whilst they are in college, and then at a college reunion party where one of them is not there because they were killed in college, and it kind of goes back and forth trying to figure out what happened to this girl and who it was that killed her. Carrying on with the slightly dark academia theme, we have A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. I know this is a kind of a fantasy in a magic school, but there are definitely some thrillery aspects to it, so I think this would definitely count for this prompt. Maybe a staple of thrillery books would be the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series by Holly Jackson. I almost said Holly Black, that's a different author. By Holly Jackson, another mixed media book where a group of, no, not a group, just one girl. Another mixed media book where someone is trying to solve a murder that has seemingly gone cold. So prompt 3 is a book that features multiple POVs. There are, again, lots of options for this. Did I not? I haven't made a pile for multiple POVs. So I'm just gonna pull out Zodiac Academy again, because at least, well, no, all the books, but the first book follows the points of view of the Vega twins, and then as the series progresses, more characters' views get brought in. You know by now, I love this series, so if I can recommend it, I'm going to. Another book that I don't have on me at the moment, but I would recommend, is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. This is a dark academia book that would probably fit the thrillery prompt. It follows 6 magical initiates, I guess, to the Alexandria Library, in which we go around the different points of view of the 6 characters, and I finished it today and I really enjoyed it. It was sitting at a 3, but the ending made it a 4 for me, so I really enjoyed that. Would definitely recommend. The Twin Crown series also has multiple POVs between the 2 sisters, so this is another prompt that these books would work for. Just flicking through some more books, and it turns out that The Twisted Love by Anna Huang also has multiple POVs. I've not read it, but I know it's all over TikTok, this series, especially the second one, which I also own, and I assume that is multiple POV too, so would definitely recommend that. The next prompt is to read a book that features a game. This one was a really exciting prompt for me because I really enjoy books that have games in them. The first one that obviously comes to mind would be Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, which follows 24 teenagers as they basically fight to the death for the entertainment of the rich. Another book that I actually read, I think it was at the end of last year, was The Escape Room by Megan Goldin. I don't own this one physically, but it is about 4 Wall Street up-and-comers who are invited to an escape room as part of a team building exercise, except that's not what it is, and they have to figure out why they're really there. You could also read Hide by Kirsten White. This is basically a deadly game of hide and seek in an abandoned theme park. If you get found, you die. You could read Caraval by Stephanie Garber, which is about a travelling circus for the rich and the elite in society, and one year 2 sisters get to go, except it turns out that this year's circus theme is a game to find one of the sisters. I've not read it, but this is a really good competitor for what I'm probably going to pick for this prompt because I'm in a big fantasy mood. Sticking with fantasy, we have Frost by C.N. Crawford. This is a fae fantasy romance in which the main character is convinced to take part in, I think it's something like The Bachelor, in which the king is looking for a seedy wife, but actually he's not looking for a wife, he just wants a cover, and he pays her a lot of money to enter the games. I haven't read it, but I am really interested in it, and it definitely includes a game. Some more fantasy would be Cruel Illusions by Maggie Thurston. This is about a girl who looks to avenge her mother's death. Her mother was killed by vampires. She finds this magical academy in which they will teach her how to avenge her mum's death and kill the vampires, but in order for them to teach her, she has to play take part in some deadly competition to prove that she is worth their time. You could pick up Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong, which I can't remember off the top of my head. So yeah, every year thousands flock to Saint-Air, the dangerously dense capital twin cities of the Kingdom of Tallinn, where the palace hosts a set of deadly games. Those confident in their ability to jump between bodies can enter a fight to the death for the chance to win unimaginable riches. So this is 2 people, I think, following 2 people that enter those games and what happens. I wonder if it's multiple POV. No, not multiple POV. It does have red on the cover though, so spoiler alert for another prompt. Less fantasy, more dystopian, a lot lower stakes, but we have The Selection by Kira Cass. This is, I think it's been described as The Bachelor meets Hunger Games, in which a group of women are selected to compete for the love of the prince. This book follows, I think there's 12. This book follows 12, and the rest in the series, each time they are whittled down. It's televised, so it is a game in as much as, you know, it's like The Bachelor. You could pick up Reprieve by James Han Matson. This is, I think, another sort of escape room game where you have to make it through all 6 rooms, and no one normally makes it past room 1. I believe we're following at least one person, probably a group of people that do make it further than room 1, and we'll see what awaits them. This is also a high contender for this prompt for me. Next up as my recommendation, we have The Last One by Alexandra Oliver. This is a kind of survival thriller, I guess. It could also go for the thriller prompt. This follows the main character Zoo as she enters what's called the woods, which is a kind of like a deadly survivor. She has to survive out in the woods for a certain amount of time, and if she does that, she wins money. This is following her journey in that game. And then this recommendation is a little bit out of left field, but I love that it works, and that is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabriella Zevin. Technically not a game in which the characters have to play in the book, but the main characters are game developers and they develop games, and the story follows them throughout their lives. So if you're not someone that likes reading books that have games in them, this could be a good alternative. So the next prompt is to find a book, or to read a book, that has blood/red on the cover. My first thought was A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. Not only is the word blood in the cover, but you know, it's red. It's red. I think that's meant to be blood. It's about vampires, which, you know, they like to drink blood, so this ticks all the boxes for this prompt, to be honest. Another book that has blood on the cover is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, which follows our main character, who is a red. However, she has magical abilities that should really make her a silver, which would be the elite in society. And so once the king finds out that she has these powers, he tries to pass her off as the long lost silver princess, and if she wants to live, she has to go along with it, but she doesn't really want to go along with it, and it follows that journey. It is a whole series, but I've only read the first book, so I don't really know much more than that. This book could fit thriller, I think, and red on the cover, and that is 14 Ways to Die by Vincent Ralph. This follows our main character as she enters some sort of reality show where her life is for everyone to view for a day. Yeah, she'll be filmed once a week for the whole day of what she's doing. And watching is someone called the Magpie Man, who is a serial killer. He killed her mum, and he's currently looking for his next victim, and he finds her. I've not read it, but it does sound really good. So again, this could be thriller or red. Bringing back A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Obviously, the spine is red. There is red on the cover. I don't need the cover to be completely red for you to count this book. I am going to be very lax on these prompts, to be honest. So if you think they count, then they count. Going back to Richard Osman and the Thursday Murder Club, again, red spine, and the main colour of the cover, apart from obviously black and white, is red. You didn't think I wasn't going to mention Zodiac Academy again, did you? So this cover is obviously black and red, so this would work as well. We're also bringing back Cruel Illusions by Maggie Fuston. My cover is obviously black with red, and if you take the jacket off, it is then red with black detailing. How gorgeous is that? So this one, there isn't a lot of red on the cover, but I think the red stands out that I think you should be able to count this, and that is again The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Mostly black and white, but punctures of red, then it really works. You could read Dowry of Blood for this prompt instead if you don't want to read it. Oh, I've done that one. And then my copy of Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong has a lot of red on the cover as well. Other ones off the top of my head would be A Court of Thorns and Roses, Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, I believe. At least my copy, I think, has a lot of red on the cover. But yeah, if you think that it has red on the cover, then it has red on the cover, unless you're blatantly lying, in which case I'm probably not gonna know, and you're only fooling yourself. It probably counts, so I would count it. The final prompt is a book that is not on your owned TBR. So I can't actually show you any of these books because I own them all. What I would suggest is you can use your library for this prompt, you can use Kindle Unlimited for this prompt, you can use Scribd for this prompt, you can use gifted books for this prompt. If you have taken somebody's unhaul off of their hands, you can use those. Again, I'm really lax with this prompt. Just a book that you didn't necessarily add to your TBR, or your owned TBR. And that is the end of this video. Obviously there are way more suggestions for different prompts that you could use. I like to think that the prompts are quite broad, so hopefully you can find books that fit your reading tastes, or if you're a mood reader you'll be able to find something that piques your interest. Let me know down in the comments below if you're taking part in Camp Crystal Lake Readathon this year, and if you are, what team. If it's not Team Jigsaw, you're on the wrong team, I'm just saying. And if you don't want to pop that in, or if you're not taking part, just leave me a red heart. Since we're focusing on read books, leave me a red heart in the comments so I know you've been here. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Don't forget to like and all those fun YouTube things. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!